Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Justin, or Long Hauler, as you know, bringing you a game of Cracked. No, a game of Team Deathmatch on Cracked. Sorry, I'm tired. It's late. I'll be using, this is on the PS3. I'm using the Galil with the suppressor, hardline sleight of hand marathon, running the 357 kill streak. The game is around a 5, just under a 5 KD. It's not a super awesome game. It's just something for me to talk over. So I'll let you guys watch the game. I'm not going to say anything else about it. So my last video, I asked you guys to leave a comment about your age and your location. And the purpose of this was so I can get, like I said, a better understanding of the demographic of my subscribers. And basically, so everyone knows, I have subscribers that are anywhere from 12 to 13 years old all over the US, Canada, all the way up to mid-40s, upper 40s, across, like I said, across the US, across Canada, different countries in Europe, so Australia. There's a lot of people in a lot of different areas that are watching this video, so I thought that this might be an appropriate conversation for everybody. Since we are spread out so far around the world, and we are spread out so far across the life timeline, I guess, I think this applies to everybody. And before I go any further, I don't ever do this, but I need you guys to help me out. If you agree with this commentary, at the end of the commentary, if you agree with it, if you think that it's something that needs to be spread throughout the community, please thumb it up. Please leave a comment. The more comments that are left, the more it gets exposure, the more thumbs up it has, the more exposure it gets. So at the end, if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a rating and a comment and letting me know what you think. If some of you guys have some connections with some of the larger guys out there and you think that this is important enough that they should try to spread to their audience as well, please by all means show them the video, let them know, tell them to disperse it throughout their network as well, because this is how I want to help the community. The community, as we all know, is full of trollers. It's full of people that only want to go onto videos and leave negative comments just to piss somebody off. However, there are also others that use the comment section for appropriate reasons, and they don't necessarily agree with all of the conversation or with what the video says, and they want to leave a disagreement. And what we as a community need to learn to do is to decipher a troller that leaves fuck you, this video sucks, from an interested subscriber or an interested viewer that just has a different point of view, because everyone has the right to their own point of view. Everyone has their own belief system. Everyone is brought up differently, so not everything everyone says is going to be agreed with all the time. But there's just a proper way to agree with something, and there's a proper way to disagree with something. So the other day I was watching a video, and there was a comment, something along the lines of, PS3 players are all terrible, Xbox is so much better. And this wouldn't usually bother me. I think I was probably having a bad day, and I responded with, I have to disagree. You can't be spreading these blanket statements that aren't true at all. I could find you PS3 players that are better than Xbox and vice versa. And normally I wouldn't have responded at all, but like I said, I don't know what was going through my mind that day. Probably a bad day. And he comes back and he says, what I was talking about was game battles, something about game battles, and something about his experience with game battles. And I responded with, okay, I completely understand that's your point of view and that's your experience that you were talking about. However, your initial statement was a blanket statement about this gaming propaganda that's been going on for God knows how long. That's the thing that I disagreed with. And he comes back and says, basically, what you think you're so fucking smart using all these big words. You talk like that in real life, you'll get knocked the fuck out. And I was kind of taken back. I was like, how did this conversation move from me disagreeing and explaining why, and then him disagreeing with what I said and explaining why, to all of a sudden the threat of some verbal contact or some physical contact? And so, not really going to get into it. It went back and forth for a while, and I basically said to him these things that I'm going to say to you guys. So there's a proper way to agree. There's a proper way to express your disagreement. And the way you do so kind of sets you apart from being a normal quote-unquote troll from these different videos. The first thing that you're going to want to do if you disagree is not start your disagreement sentence with "you're a dumbass," "you're a moron," "you're wrong." Don't start it with any sort of negatively connotated statement that's going to automatically cause the other person to get defensive. Because when you get defensive, you close your mind and you don't want to hear anything else except for what you want to hear. And usually when you're in an argument, you're not going to hear the other side. So if you can figure out a way to start your disagreement with a neutral statement such as, "I disagree," there's no hostility in that, there's no opinion in that, it's a complete fact, and no one can argue with what you just said. "I disagree." No one can argue that point. The best thing that you can do after that is list your reasons why you disagree, and try to keep it as, I hate using the word polite, but as respectful as you can. And most importantly, be open to hearing their side as well, because they're going to come back and say something why you're wrong, and be open to what they have to say. The most important part of an argument isn't winning the argument, it's getting your point across to the other side so they can understand your point of view. And I know a lot of you guys are young, and I'm not saying that this is only you guys. Maturity level isn't based on age. So the immature people that will go to these videos will leave some sort of smartass remark and think that basically that they are hot shit. And I gotta tell you something, guys, that if you do that, you're not hot shit. You're hot shit when you can calmly explain your point of view and you're open-minded enough to listen to the other side of the argument. That's when you're hot shit. And that's what's going to get you far in life, not just on YouTube. I've been working for about 10 to 12 years, and I've had to learn this the hard way. I went through a whole struggle with learning how to basically just talk to people and to be respectful. And if you're respectful, it's the old treat people like you want to be treated. It's the old saying. If you're respectful to somebody, they're going to be respectful back. If you express your disagreement in a respectful manner, they'll usually express theirs in a respectful manner back. And the other thing that we all have to get away from doing is getting caught up in these arguments that are going on. If, all 900 and some of you guys can all band together and start this movement of just being, intelligent humans, and I'm not saying you're not intelligent now, but, it's hard to base any sort of understanding of you as a person. The only medium we have to do that is through what you say and what you write in your comments. If you have a channel, it's the way that you portray yourself in your videos. So, would you rather be known as someone that seems to be intellectual? Like, I think that, Woody Woody is, Saspin Jr., you know, those guys, they don't get involved in all this bullshit. They just stay completely away. You know, they can disagree, and they have disagreed with some things, and I've seen them do it in a very respectful manner. So if we can just start this movement of getting away from just blowing up when we disagree with something, and trying to crush a video when we disagree with something, then a lot of this negativity is going to start to dissipate from the community. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, you know, you don't have to say thank you, no thank you, please. You know, you don't have to kiss anybody's ass. Just be respectful about how you disagree. So guys, like I said, thumb it up. Let me know what you think. Sorry for the rant. I think we're done here.